Hi, FCC. Welcome to our third Leader Spotlight. Today we're talking to Christina Argo, and I'm really excited that I get to talk with her today and get to know her a little bit better. I think I met her, was it just a year ago that you started last summer? Was that when you
Few
came
years.
and talked to me? 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
Gosh, time flies.
Yeah.
So yeah, 2 years ago, she came up to me at church and, um, you know, she actually answered one of the Changemaker events and said, I'd love to help. And we've just loved having her just expertise that she has with children and her awesome background with teaching, that she's been able to bring that into our classroom has been awesome. And I've also just loved, she's also just always ready whenever, Sunday mornings don't always go the way we always expect. And so she's just always willing to do what needs to be done, and we love that. So thank you so much for serving. We love having you in the room. So, Christina, if you just why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, sure. So, my name's Christina, and I have a 4-year-old, 4.5. He likes to make sure that we all know that he's not 4 anymore. He's 4.5 years old. I work in the Omaha Public Schools. I am the science lead teacher, but I'm actually leaving OPS this at the end of the summer, and I'm going to Blair to teach eighth grade science again. And I'm super excited to get back with kids on a daily basis, not just 2 Sundays a month. So that's pretty exciting. Ben is one of the other folks who serve in FCC Kids with me, and he and I recently got engaged the Sunday before Memorial Day. So
Yay.
that's super exciting. Yep. And
That's, yeah, congratulations. That's
thank
awesome.
you. Yeah, we're so excited. We're hoping to follow through on the nuptials at fall of next year if everything turns out okay, and we don't have more pandemics, or who knows what's going to happen. So fingers crossed.
Let's not even think about that.
Yeah, yeah, right. We're going to plan it, and then we'll make
Yes,
adjustments needed.
that's great.
um, yeah.
Yeah, anything else? Okay, awesome. Well, Christina serves in our elementary classroom on and as a small group leader with first grade girls, right? First grade?
Yeah. Yep,
Yes.
yep. I have the first grade girls, which is pretty interesting. As I said before, I teach middle school, and as the science lead teacher, I was in charge of providing the professional learning for teachers. So I have a lot of experience with older kids and with adults, but I really enjoy my Sundays with my little first grade girls. It kind of gives me that special appreciation for the littles. I have
Yeah.
my own kiddo, and Ben has his kids as well, but it's just different serving with those girls, and the group is huge. Every Sunday, it's a giant group of 10. Even as the girls kind of
Oh,
rotate in and out, there's always a steady 10, and it's never the same 10. So I can only imagine what it would be like if every single one of the girls would be there. There'd just be so many kids, so many girls.
that's awesome. Well, we
Yeah.
would maybe have to get you some help if they all came on the same Sundays.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Ben one time covered for me. I think something for work. I had to be out of town, and he covered for my first grade girls. And I mean, he said that they just kind of swarmed him, as first grade girls do. And he loved every minute of it. He did. And they're just the sweet kids.
That's awesome. All right. Well, we'll start off with some really easy questions. If
Okay.
you had to choose a vacation, would you go for beach or mountains?
Yeah, so that was a really hard one for me. I think if I could, I would choose a beach with mountains behind it.
That's what I would choose too.
Yeah, so
That sounds
one of my
perfect.
favorite things to do is to hike. I love hiking, and the steeper the hill is, or I mean, we only have hills around here, the better. And I really love doing that, and being in the trees. And a couple weeks ago, we went. Where did we go? We went on a little hike on some trails, and we found a little bat, and we who had fallen, and he had a broken wing, and we got to water
Oh,
him. Didn't touch him, but
right.
There's no telling what you can do on a nice walk in the woods. But then there's also the sitting on a beach and playing in the water and hanging out in the sunshine. Yeah, exactly, exactly.
So if you love hiking, I also really love to hike. Do you have a spot that you've hiked that was like your favorite place that you've ever hiked?
So my most favorite place in the entire world is in a glacier bowl in Seward, Alaska. And you
Okay.
have to hike up to get to it. And I went there several summers ago. Oh gosh, it was even more than several. It was before I even had Chase, who's starting to nap in a chair. Um, but it was a strenuous walk, and it was so exciting. And knowing that we had to make all of these noises to keep the bears away, and watching the trees change as the altitude changed, and then you finally get to it, and it looks like a giant bowl full of rocks and green, and all I remember is this beautiful sparkling stream in the middle and purple flowers everywhere. I mean, just something that you would see on a poster, and it was so
Yeah.
peaceful and calm. And really, I don't know. I've not seen anything more beautiful and more peaceful ever.
Sounds awesome.
It was amazing.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. If you were going to choose a season, would you go for spring or fall?
100%. I would go with fall. And I think that is one because of football. Football starts in the fall. Go Big Red. Had to
Yeah.
put that out.
Yeah. Go Big Red.
And then ever since I was a kid and started school, I really loved the beginning of school and getting my pencils together. And even in college, I remember buying the textbooks and unwrapping all of the books and getting things organized and organizing my binder. And becoming a teacher, I still get that joy at the beginning of the school year and the excitement of what's to come. And so yeah, and the weather's cooler and there's Halloween and pumpkins, and I just love fall. Fall's the best. It even smells different.
Yes, it does. So far, everyone has said fall.
Really? Oh, nice.
All right. What was your favorite toy when you were little?
So I did have one stuffed animal. I still have it. I just don't know where it's at. It's somewhere in this house. That was like the snuggle bear, that bear with the dryer sheets. But he
Oh, yeah.
had a winding music box behind him, and it was an old school music box. And to this day, whenever I hear that tune, I always think of that bear, and it could almost even make me cry. It doesn't have any special reason or purpose. Nobody really special gave it to me. It's just something that I've just owned for as long as I can remember. But I'll also say we had a Super Nintendo when we were kids, and that was pretty awesome too. The kids watching this have no idea what a Super Nintendo is,
Oh gosh.
but we
So I
love
have,
Super Nintendo.
what was your favorite game?
Um, we really liked the Mario World with the Yoshi.
Okay. I
Yeah.
don't even think I've ever played that one. I'm
Oh.
a little older than you. So my mom actually found an old, like, original Nintendo at
Oh.
her house and gave it to us, like, during this quarantine. And so my husband tried to get it to work, and it doesn't work very good. But if we clean the cartridges really, really good and put it in and like shove something under it to make it tight, he can
Yeah.
get it to work for a bit. And so when we were trying to get it to work, my 9-year-old was just like so excited and couldn't wait to get this Nintendo going. And then it was like, we got Excite Bike. I don't know if you remember that one to go, and it's like, oh, okay, that was kind of cool.
No, not at all.
Yeah, not compared to what they're used to.
Yeah.
So
It's definitely different. I've tried to play the Mario Brothers on like the Switch and all of that other new stuff, and it's just so weird. I don't know.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right. How about, can you tell me about a family tradition that you have in your family that you love?
Yeah. So we actually haven't been able to do this. Um, we can't do it this year. because of everything going on with the pandemic, and last year because of the flooding. But usually my folks and all of my siblings, I have two sisters and then two stepsisters and a stepbrother. So there's six of us all together. We're the Brady Bunch. We like to drive out to Valentine, Nebraska and stay at Smith Falls Park. And we do it usually always over the 4th of July. And we camp and we float down the river a couple times. And on the 4th of July, not a lot of people know this, but Valentine, the town, has a demolition derby. So we go out there on the 4th and watch a bunch of cars crash into each other, and tractors will come out and, loosen up the dirt again. And it's a blast. We love it. It's loud, but it's so much fun. So just the whole trip is just the best. Even the drive up. The drive back is usually not great, but 5 days camping, 5 hours away, takes a toll on you.
Yeah, that's really, really fun. I've gone up to the Niobrara a couple of times and canoed, so it is really fun.
Yeah, it's so much fun.
Can you tell me about an aha moment for you when you realized that you wanted to follow Jesus?
Yeah, so I think honestly, I've had different moments throughout my life, and I think my very first, and by different moments, I mean different realizations that kind of happen. And I think my first moment of really realizing what it meant to be a follower of Jesus happened when I was a freshman in high school. I could cry. I'm going to try not to.
It's okay.
Let my mascara run. We, after a football game in high school, my freshman year, 9th grade, we went to a local church, and they had like this after football party. And we were in this giant gym, and there was basketball and like nighttime tag. There was just all of these games that a bunch of teenagers were able to participate in. And we got to meet new people and, develop different friendships with people you wouldn't necessarily develop with in school itself. And then at the end of it, one of the youth pastors had gone up. It was kind of like a makeshift stage. I wouldn't even really necessarily call it a stage, but he just started talking to us about what it really meant to be a follower of Jesus, and what all goes into that, and what we get out of being a follower of Jesus. It's not just about doing what God tells us to do, and it's, we can really find our own peace and find our own way through Jesus. And it wasn't until then that I really started to realize that. I grew up in church, but for me, it was always about, here's what you can do and here's what you can't do. And if you do the things you can't do, you're in trouble. So for me, I think that was a big moment. And it was also, now that I think about it, it wasn't in one of the main denominational churches. It wasn't Lutheran, it wasn't Catholic, it wasn't a Baptist church. It was just a Christian church. It was a church where they just welcomed everybody, and that was new to me too.
Yeah, that's cool. And I mean, it sounds like to me you're saying like that was kind of the moment where you realized it was about a relationship.
Absolutely.
Versus, do this, don't do this, or memorize this, or you have to go to church, but that it's really about a relationship with Jesus. So that's
exactly
awesome.
Right. It's not a step by step, here's what you do to get to heaven, but it's a give and take. And we do have a real part in that.
Yeah.
More than just doing what's right. So
right. Awesome. Do you have a favorite Bible verse or story that you want to share with us?
So this will sound like I'm making it up specifically for this, but I'm not. The very first time I walked into First Christian several years ago, it was January or February, there's the writings that are on the wall when you walk in. And I remember seeing 1 Peter chapter 4, verse 8, where it just said love above everything. And I think it also had the rest of it. for love covers a multitude of sins. I don't remember what the writing is, but basically it's saying above everything, love deeply, and that's going to cover so many of our sins. And I didn't even recognize it as a Bible verse at the time. Um, and then just with some time coming to realize, oh, this is I believe in this. This is something I really feel is if I can share this one easy Bible verse, it is really truly to love one another. And in the times that we're living in right now, it's so important to not every day am I perfect, and not every day is anybody, if anybody's watching this, is anybody perfect. Um, but really striving to find some love for everybody. And I remember hearing in a service, it's easy to love those who do what's right, but the real challenge is, can you love those hard sinners? Can you love those who don't do right? And in loving those who aren't just like you, that's where that deep relationship with Jesus can come from. So,
and that's what Jesus did.
That's exactly right. He sure did. He didn't eat with the rich and the famous. He was down in the shacks with the poor folks and the sinners and the thieves and all of that. So, and it's hard, but that's
it is hard.
That's where it really comes. So,
yep, great. All right, I'm just going to put the last two questions together for you. So kind of like, why do you serve in FCC Kids, and then what do you love about serving? So you can just kind of put those together if you want.
Okay. All right. Well, like I said before, I love being around kids. I'm a teacher, and I know that doesn't necessarily mean anything. Sometimes teachers don't like kids, but I do. I love kids. No, I'm just kidding. All teachers love kids. I just love being around kids. I love kids' enthusiasm. I love kids who ask a lot of questions. I love kids who pull me from this side of the room to see these Legos, and then to that side of the room to watch the game. And then now I have to go over here and color with this group of girls. I just love hanging out with kids, and being with my first grade girls is so beneficial to me. It's almost selfish in a sense, because I get to experience an age that I don't normally get to experience. And I get to kind of help those beginning stages of what it means to follow Jesus, and what all of these difficult lessons really do mean for a 6-year-old. So I like being able to do that. So, and for me, time is one of my most precious items that I hold. Right. Money for me just kind of comes and goes, but time is so precious, and I love being able to give my time for our kids.
That's awesome. Well, we appreciate you so much. We love having you in that room, building relationships with those girls, and just loving on them. Just means so much to them when they know that they can come on Sundays and know that, that you're going to be there, and that you were there, last week, and that they can show it. I love hearing that they want to show you what they're doing and talk to you, and that's just great. So we just really appreciate you. Love having you serving with us. So
thank you. I love it. We miss you. And if any kids are watching, I miss you.
Yeah, I hope they will.
Miss the leaders.
All right. Well, yes, definitely. So thank you so much again. I love just hearing into your heart a little bit, and getting to just hear your passion for Jesus was just awesome. So thank you. And for everybody watching, tune in next week. We will be talking with Julia Damrow. So, yep.
Bye.
We'll see you later.